Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Primarc Story, I welcome you to the virtual launch of The Hitman, the Rohit Sharma story by Vijay Lokapally and G. Krishnan. Primark Story is a 15-year-old store located on Elgin Road in Kolkata, selling items ranging from books to toys to board games to stationeries and chocolate. So please do find time to visit them. From his cricket debuts in 2007 and 2013, respectively, Rohit Sharma has grown to be one of the vital pillars of the Indian cricket team. A modern day entertainer who refused to compromise his approach to batting, his contribution to India's domination in one day cricket and victories in the Premier League is indisputable. This is the story of his journey, of the years of hard work, and the confidence that has allowed him to keep his place in the team, and his amazing capacity to come up with big scores. His combination of aggression and caution, his lazy elegance, and his deadly shots have brought whiff of fresh air to the Indian field. The Hitman is the riveting account of a batsman who has always chosen to play on his own terms, from two of India's best known cricket writers, Vijay Lokapally and G. Krishnan. On this special occasion today, we are joined by two special guests, Manoj Tiwary and Abhishek Nayar, two really fine young Indian cricketers. Both of them have spent a lot of time with Rohit Sharma, and we are sure they will have some special memories to share with us this evening. So I'm going to hand over now to Vijay Lokapally uh, for further proceedings this evening.
Thank you, Meenakshi, for this wonderful introduction, and it's my pleasure actually to be here on this platform with two fine gentlemen, Abhishek Nayar and Manoj Tiwary. I have watched them play, I've watched them grow, and it's a real privilege. And I'm thankful to them for sparing time because both have a very busy career and life on the field and off the field. To begin with, I will quickly introduce them to our viewers. Manoj Tiwary has played 12 ODIs, 3 T20 matches, 125 first-class matches with 27 centuries, 8,965 runs. Uh, and amazingly, in this short career, I mean, short career, when I say 12 ODI matches, he has played in Australia, West Indies, England, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Zimbabwe. And his 100 came at Chennai against the West Indies. And Abhishek Nayar, he has played 3 ODIs in all in 2009, 103 first class matches with 5,749 runs, 13 centuries. Manoj has 27 centuries. And Nair, let me tell you, he's an all-rounder. He bowls. He's got 173 wickets. His connection with Kolkata now is that he is with the Kolkata Knight Riders. Manoj Tiwary has been a Kolkata man right through his career. Welcome both of you, Manoj and Abhishek. You have known G. Krishnan very well, and it's my privilege again. I'll begin with Abhishek, because Manoj is senior to you.
Yeah,
Um,
sure, sure.
yes, yes. So, Manoj, you know G. Krishnan. Sorry, Abhishek, you know G. Krishnan. To begin with, uh, how do you find this? What should I say? This experience of now associating yourself as a coach.
Well, I think it's if I could say, I think it's a privilege for me to actually get into this role of a coach. But I think the transition for me personally was quite smooth from cricketer to coach. I think a lot of people sometimes take time to get into their stride, but I was quite fortunate to have the opportunity to be a part of the Kolkata Knight Riders while I was playing. So I feel, like I said previously, I feel grateful. I feel that to have the opportunity to spend time with fellow cricketers, if I could say that, and share my experiences, learn from them in a two-way communication. I feel I am blessed, to have that opportunity. And Kolkata being so passionate about cricket and sport in general, I feel just to be part of the Knight Riders and such a brilliant franchise is a great opportunity for me.
And Abhishek, 99 matches for Mumbai and then to Puducherry.
Well, that was by force, not by choice. I think when you get to your fag end of the career, and sometimes you aren't delivering the goods the way a state wants you to, you need to make the change. I think it was quite a selfish change for me to go and wanting to play my 100th game, but having done that, just the experience of setting up a new team like Puducherry, going there first time ever playing Ranji Trophy, understanding the nitty gritties of local players, and I think just setting up the Ranji Trophy system there. I think for me it was a great learning, and playing those 4 games for Puducherry and the one days and the T20s. I think for me it was a great experience having played for a team like Mumbai, then going to a team which is, if I could say so, minnow, but a team that taught me a lot, a team that taught me how to understand and build my patience level and expectation level, just bring it down and find a middle ground. I think it taught me a lot as an individual after playing so much cricket for Mumbai.
And Manoj, आपने तो किताब देखी है. I'll have to show it to our readers. This is the book with a lot of hard work from G. Krishnan. And Manoj, for you, loyalty has been a big factor. I mean, were you never tempted to leave Bengal and play for some other team? Offers तो आए होंगे.
ऑफर्स तो आए थे विजय सर, पर ऑब्वियस सी बात है, जब यहाँ अच्छा चल रहा था तो मेरे को वो डबल थॉट्स कभी आया नहीं कि शिफ्ट करना है. लेकिन जिस तरह से अभी उम्र बढ़ रही है, getting into the fag end of my career now, obviously, like Abhishek said, that when you obviously reach a stage where obviously the state wants you to perform at your peak, and if something here and there happens, then obviously question raises, and the younger guys also coming in, the new coach and the management, whoever takes the charge of the team obviously wants fresh legs, but thankfully, and with the love of so many cricket lovers towards me, obviously their well wishes keeps me going. Last year also I did pretty well for Bengal. We eventually ended up playing the finals of Ranji Trophy. Unfortunately couldn't win, लेकिन अच्छा गया है, obviously बात है, तो और एक साल आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. So I take it year by year, and I never take anything for granted. So I have to keep pace with all the youngsters who are coming up in our Bengal cricket team. But yeah, कभी मेरे वो दिमाग में आया नहीं कि मैं कहीं और जाके खेलूं, because whatever I am today, there has a lot of support from the association. Obviously, not everything we're going to agree on what the association does over a period of time when you play for so many years. But yeah, but having said that, they have been very helpful to all the cricketers, setting up a beautiful infrastructure. कभी कोई चीज के लिए मना नहीं, और तो जब मना ही नहीं है, सब कुछ अवेलेबल है, तो फिर वो सोच आता नहीं है. तो so far so good. I hope to play a few more years. Let's see how it pans out.
Right. I'll bring in G. Krishnan now. Jiku, we know him as Jiku. So yes, Jiku, you can ask your questions now.
Yeah.
Grill them.
Thanks. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, and thanks a lot to Abhishek and Manoj for agreeing to do this. So just now, Abhishek mentioned about the smooth transition from playing to coaching. So Manoj, you have been doing, while playing also, you have been giving commentary for IPL and international matches for Star. So are you looking at a career in the media after your playing days are done?
To be honest with you, I have not planned anything as such. Like Abhishek plans everything in his career, in his life. But to be honest, the opportunity was there. As you know, from last 2 years, I have not been part of IPL, and the source of income has stopped a bit. So I have to work somewhere, and commentary is something obviously I was interested, because it's something which obviously an experience as well, and also the income is there. So whenever I'll be free, I don't mind doing it. And let's see, I don't plan, like I said, whatever happens, whatever comes, it will come. But apart from commentary, there are other few things as well which pops out in the mind. ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, वो भी करना है. But किसी चीज में I'm not fixed as of yet. Let's see where life takes me, whether it's coaching like Abhishek does, or commentary like Abhishek does, or I don't know, to be honest. But having said that, yeah, it's good to see my fellow brother my brother from another mother, doing really well. He's been very instrumental in shaping up so many young cricketers, and I've played with him, been friends with him. The kind of knowledge he has, obviously, he shares with all of them, and there are so many things which obviously goes behind the scenes of making of a player, and that's what we see in KKR's team. To be honest, if I speak about KKR, the likes of uh, Nitish Rana. Rinku is there. Obviously, Rinku will evolve as a player in future, but he has that potential. The setup which has been done in Mumbai for KKR, where Abhishek obviously takes control of that, and I'm sure boys are benefiting out of it. So it's good to see someone like him doing thing, and we also, as a player who are still playing, obviously look up to someone who can obviously, if Abhishek is doing so well, he's sharing all the knowledge, then obviously that thought will come, and we'll see eventually what happens. But it's good to see that young crop of our generation players are coming into coaching and doing well and shaping up the career of individuals who are coming up.
Abhishek, you now as mentor of KKR, you also had a taste of the commentary doing for Star Sports. So, given the choice, which is your preference?
Well, I think it's an easy answer for me. I think it's always been coaching. I've been passionate about not coaching but helping people through my career. So I think coaching is just a byproduct of that. I think when you mention the term coaching, it's more about helping someone achieve their best potential. And I think I've always enjoyed doing that as a cricketer, whether that be myself or anyone around me or people around me who've friends who've needed that help through my career and through theirs. So I think for me, it's an easy choice. I'm very passionate about it. I enjoy it. Sometimes I never expected to ever commentate. It was not something that was on my agenda or I thought about. It was again one of the things that surprised me in my life when I got dropped from Mumbai. I got an offer to commentate, and then I started to commentate in the IPL, and it was a different experience for me speaking in Hindi. When we play cricket, we speak different Hindi, but when you start commentating, it's a different set of it's a different dialect altogether. So for me, it was a challenge. I had to take tuitions, I had to learn, I had to evolve as a commentator as well, understand numbers in Hindi. So it was a test for me, but I enjoyed it. A commentary as well, because it gives you a different dimension to where you look at the game. I always feel sometimes as a coach and sometimes being so close to the game, you sometimes miss certain elements and you look at the game very differently. I think commentary brings a completely different dynamic, and I think that for me also enhances the way I look at the game, the way I try to understand where the game is progressing. I try and understand the kind of top players who we commented alongside. Like Manoj said, when you meet fellow teammates and you get their opinions and their thoughts, and where they think the T20 format or any format of the game is going, you get to learn a lot. So I think commentary is something I enjoy doing, but coaching is something I'm very passionate about.
When you're giving commentary, do you think like a coach? And Manoj, the same applies. Do you think like a player?
Well, I think as a player, I always want to go into the heads of the captains, basically, and into the heads of the bowlers when they are under pressure. And T20 game is such, especially in IPL, you see so many runs get scored of the bowlers. So I try to think why bowlers getting hit, why aren't the field placements are correct for that particular delivery. So obviously, as a player, obviously as a coach as well, obviously now I've reached a stage where obviously I can say that, yeah, if I was there, then I would have done the things a little differently. But having said that, yeah, there's so much of pressure on the captain on the field, to be honest, and to all the youngsters as well. It's pretty easy, obviously, when you commentate from outside, you watching. We are not feeling the pressure of the field, but they are. So it's easy doing commentary after watching, but yeah, I love doing it, and yeah.
Well, I think for me, I think like Manoj said, when I started commentary, I started to think like a player a lot, and we try to put ourselves in the position of the player and see, how he's trying to overcome the adversities that he feels or the challenges that he has on the field. But I think you need to maintain a balance. I've tried to, try and get my coach's instinct as well. So you try and call plays that may happen. You try and understand dynamics of the team. You try and understand things beside what the ordinary, fan watches. So I think, like I said, the coaching thought process and the mentor thought process kind of helps me deliver a bit more insight, if I could say, into the player's mindset and insight into the player's development and what he's thinking or how he's prepared, or the dynamics or the tactics that the teams are trying to do. I think so. It's a balance. I try and balance it out, but the player always kind of wins the battle more often than not, and comes in and tries and thinks like the player and tries to sympathize and understand that it's not so easy, because we all have been there, we all have failed, we all have gone through those places where people have great expectations from you, but you don't deliver. So I think I try and empathize with that as a player, and sometimes you can be stern as a coach and demand certain things as well.
Yeah. Manoj and Abhishek, both of you, I mean, to me, not because you are here, to me, the favorite chapter from the book is Forging Friendship, which involves you and Rohit. And even though the chapter comes very late in the book, page 119, but here we can, if you can just take us through some of your impressions. I'll begin with Abhishek, of course, has been right through with Rohit. Manoj, your first impressions. When did you first see Rohit, and when were you really convinced that yes, he's somebody who will serve Indian cricket long?
Well, at that point of time when I first saw him, I did not thought that he will serve India for a longer period of time. But I thought instantly that this guy is super talented. He's going to be a genius in his craft, in his skills. I remember playing a under 19 zone team. East was playing West zone in Bangalore, Chinnaswamy, and I've been captaining my state team from under 16 levels onwards. So I had a pretty decent experience of captaining, and I do obviously read the game little. I would say I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but yeah, I do read games a bit. So most of the time I restrict batsmen not to score big runs by placing field placements, and obviously asking the bowlers to bowl in a particular plan. But I clearly remember against Rohit Sharma, uh, all the plans which was set, I was not able to control him, like contain him, and the shots which he was playing was unbelievable. And that was the first time, and he scored a brilliant 100 in no time. And such was of the class, because that sort of a class which he was very rare to see at that level. Obviously under 19 players do have come with a lot of potential, but he was something different, and I was not able to contain him. So that point of time I thought this guy is something special, and it's a god's gift to mankind. And now we all are witnessing what he can do, obviously, and the stats are there. It's there to be seen. And after that, interesting story, I would say. After that, I became under 19 India captain. England toured India, where Moeen Ali was also part. Steve Davis was there. So that batch, and Chateshwar was there in the test, and Rohit was in the one days. This I have not shared anywhere. It's just that just because of you and Abhishek is here, I'm just sharing that there was one period where I was captain, and Venkatesh Prasad was the coach. Since I've seen him play that innings, so there was one incident where we had to take a call on this guy who will play. So our coach was a little hesitant, because I don't know whether he was not convinced, but I said no. I have seen him play, and I've seen with my own eyes, and he has to play in the playing 11. There's no two ways about it. And he did really well, and then now we all sit back and enjoy, and we whenever he plays fluently or scores big runs, you are in awe of sheer class. He's something which is very rare to see, and very rare talent, I would say. Absolute genius.
And Abhishek, we would like to hear from you your early impressions, and when were you convinced that this is some boy like like Manoj has been so gracious in praising the Rohit that you were convinced that okay, now this he has to be watched very carefully.
Well, I think my first impression, if I could say, my first meeting with Rohit was quite awkward because I didn't really get to see him play. He was my roomie in one of Moinudla tournaments, and he came in late at night. Because we had already reached then. He was playing some under 19 games. He came late at night, and he was a very different person from a normal kid that you would see, a 16-year-old kid. He was shy. I know if I say that about Rohit now, people may not believe it, but he was very shy initially and wouldn't talk a lot. And he had a couple of friends that a couple of people that he was comfortable around, and you would always see him around those people. He was not someone who opened out to everyone and understood everyone in that regard. But I think the first time I actually saw him was when he'd come to CCI and as part of the Irani Trophy team. At that point, was the first time I actually saw Rohit Sharma, and I kind of understood that this is a big guy and people are talking highly about him. I still remember that net session. I'm sure Rohit does as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think in that net session he'd have got out at least 20 times. Dilip Venjarkar was there, Chandrakant Pandit was there, Vinod Kamli was there, and everyone was raring to see Rohit Sharma. This talent and raw talent and what he's going to do. And I remember every outswing that was bowled, he either got bowled or either nicked it off or in slips. And there's literally this chatter amongst the bowlers that ye kaun hai yaar? Kya iske baare mein baat kar rahe hain? So I was actually feeling sorry for him at that point. That was my first impression. I was like, shit yaar, bichara idhar aa gaya hai aur khel hi nahi pa raha hai, or this is how people are talking and thinking. And he still remembers that, because he kind of thinks that at that point it kind of hurt his ego a lot as a cricketer. He obviously didn't play the Irani Trophy, but post that, my first feeling of Rohit, when I started to believe that he's got the potential, or he's going to make it big, was when I played Ranji Trophy with him. Because when I came into the team, I remember that he had already failed a couple of times, and he was on the edge, if I could say, of getting dropped. He scored a 90 in Hyderabad and a game that we lost. And then we came to Mumbai. We were going to play Gujarat, and he was under the pump. If I could say that, a lot of question marks. Is he, does he have the talent people possess, and is he, good enough to play the red ball, or is he a white ball player and stuff like that? And I remember he got a 100 in that game, and I got 90 odd, and I struggled my guts off to get 97, and he was hitting the ball all over the park, and he got a 100. And I was sitting and wondering, I was like, damn man, this guy is special. So that was my first feeling of Rohit being special, and I knew that there's something special, because if you're struggling, it's not that I was an established player, but I was a decent player in my own right, and I felt that this guy completely, overshadowed me in every possible way. It was all about Rohit Sharma and how he's taking people apart, which made it easier for me on the non-strikers end, because the focus was completely getting Rohit out and not Abhishek. Isko khelne do, Rohit ko out karo. So sometimes people like me benefited a lot from having someone like Rohit on the other end. So I think that was my first impression when I actually sat back and I thought this guy's special.
It's very kind of you, Abhishek.
Vijay sir, just want to add, listening to what
please,
his first impression was.
Yeah.
See, there is a saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But I want to say to all the audience out there, but please judge this book because by its cover, because it's a brilliant book. It's a brilliant read. So you guys, whosoever is listening to us, go and grab this copy of this book. You will read fantastic story about Rohit Sharma, and it's a must one.
Thank you, Manoj. I would now, if you can analyze, I'll go back to Abhishek also. We want to know for a layman, is Rohit only a batsman who's known to hit sixes? People talk of, but I'm sure he must be having a very good defense. It will best you and Abhishek can tell us. You can kind of analyze the Rohit Sharma for the common man. What kind of a batsman he is? Is he a stroke player only good for white ball cricket? And do you expect him to play more test matches? This question is for both of you. Manoj can answer first.
No, I will allow Abhishek Nayar. He's senior to me and he's into coaching as well. So let him take the question first.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So my opinion, my humble opinion about Rohit as a cricketer is I think he's a terrific all-round cricketer. I wouldn't say he's a defensive player; he's an out-and-out attacking player. And I think defense is something that he's developed over the years. I think, I believe that aggression came very naturally to him. Stroke making came very naturally to him, because I remember even during the under 19s when they used to talk about Rohit, and I remember people saying that ये लड़का CCI के बाहर छक्का मारता है. And for a young kid to kind of hit those distances, you had to be a natural stroke maker. And I think that is something that is very natural with Rohit. Most of his innings that you would see even during the World Cup 2 years ago, I think, whenever, a year ago, whenever Rohit got runs in tough conditions, it was playing strokes. Yes, he's evolved into a player knowing when to play strokes. That's the evolvement of Rohit Sharma. But Rohit Sharma has always been the cricketer who relied on his attack to be his best defense. He's not been someone who's ever gone with a defensive mindset. And I think if that ever happened to Rohit, there would be a lull in his career. Even Test cricket, when he made his debut at Eden Gardens, you saw free-flowing stroke-making Rohit Sharma. So that's Rohit Sharma for me. From what I judge, is a mentally tough cricketer, a cricketer who is now well in control of his game, well in control of his plans, well in control of his technique, if I could say that, and very comfortable with who he is as a cricketer. I think there's a period in his career when he was very uncomfortable as a cricketer, because he didn't really know which way he's going. He didn't really know, like the questions of a lot of fans saying, am I a white ball cricketer? Am I a red ball cricketer? Someone who has great stats in red ball cricket, in Ranji Trophy, in domestic cricket, but, kind of had that struggle in seaming conditions, to now being a Rohit Sharma who now says, this is my game. This is how I've evolved. He's made technical changes through his career. He's become tactically astute. But I feel what Rohit Sharma today is still and will be a stroke-making player who understands his game better than most.
And Manoj, when you analyze him, can you just answer one question for me? Does he play predetermined shots? I mean, I sometimes get a feeling that he decides that, okay, now I have to hit a six of this ball. I have to play a pull of this shot, or maybe a cut of this shot. So are we right in getting this impression from outside?
See, most of the batsmen, they do play a couple of shots predetermined. Not all the shots. He's brilliant in judging the length of the ball, and whosoever picks the length of the ball quicker is eventually becomes a great player, a top class player, and that comes from ball watching very closely. And if you see his head and his position batting stance, he's pretty still, which helps to obviously focus really well. And it's like a camera. The eyes works like a camera. Obviously, when you click a picture, you got to be holding your camera still. It's similar with the head position as well. You got to be very still while watching the ball. And game awareness and his cricketing intelligence obviously comes into play. And like Abhishek said, he's a natural stroke player. And when you play stroke, you obviously gives a signal to the bowlers that if you are in your length or line, you're going to go for runs, which obviously helps for a batter, and especially in Rohit's case. He's a pure talent. And when we say a special talent or a genius, why we all say that? Because they have the ability to pick the bowlers early than the rest of the individuals, the rest of the cricketers, and we have seen that hitting Mitchell Stark. Obviously, he made his debut. I was also there in that tour, so I remember Mitchell Johnson was there. So Mitchell Johnson was bowling really quick, and to hit Mitchell Johnson six off pull shot, which was very rare to see in Australia that particular period. It showed what kind of talent he got, and he was ready to take on the Aussie bowlers at that time. Brett Lee was also bowling really quick that phase, so he was playing very comfortably, and we all have witnessed how great a innings which he played in the finals of CB series, where I was part and MS was the captain. He won for the first time, so it was a wonderful series for India. But he's a stroke player, and obviously every batsman do play a couple of shots predeterminedly while reading the game, how the game is panning out, and judging the length of the balls. Yeah.
Jiku, you may ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you. Abhishek, knowing Rohit so very well from for so long, no, can you tell us? No, people think that no, Rohit has not taken his red ball cricket seriously. Had he done that, his records would have been no immense, and he would have been been an integral part of the test scene for a long time. So can you say what it is exactly? Having known him for a long time.
Well, I think to be honest, it's the other way around. I think people didn't take Rohit's red ball cricket seriously. I think he's someone who's always aspired to play red ball cricket, and people. I think for everyone to understand, as cricketers, we all grow up playing more red ball cricket than white ball cricket. We play 40, 50 days of red ball cricket, and through the year we are practicing the red ball. It's very seldom do you go and practice the white ball. So I think if you ask someone, any cricketer, any domestic cricketer who then becomes international cricketer, what he's more comfortable with, it'll always be the white side screen and white clothes and a red ball, because that's what you play day in and day out. Now with the evolution of white ball cricket, people have started practicing a bit more, but it's still not at the amount that the time they put in practicing the red ball or the moving ball. So I think that's just the perception that was built around Rohit Sharma. Yes, he took a liking to white ball cricket, but you need to understand that when he started his test match career, he started it with two back-to-back hundreds. He's someone who's got back-to-back hundreds in a Ranji Trophy final against the top bowling attack. So Rohit Sharma is always tailor-made to play any ball, any form of cricket, that be Test, T20, one day. It's just about sometimes being patient. I feel we tend to lose patience with players very quickly. We tend to move away from players very quickly. I think Rohit bear the brunt of that at the inception of his career in red ball cricket, where people didn't quite believe and were ready to jump at conclusions based on a couple of innings saying that he can't play the red ball cricket, but they didn't give him the time to acclimatize, or no one gave him the time to, or the advice, if I could say, to become a better red ball cricketer, or to understand the nuances of red ball cricket or test cricket, or what can help him evolve as a better test cricketer. I think it's very easy to pass judgments, but it's very difficult to pass a way to kind of become a successful cricketer. I think Rohit kind of figured it out all by himself. Yes, he made technical changes, but maybe the red ball test cricket took him a little more time than other formats of the game. But I believe that if he got a longer run at that particular period, I feel that by now he would have been 75 matches in, and maybe someone would be leading India in all formats today.
Manoj, as you know, this book is published by Bloomsbury, and someday you and Abhishek can also come out with your own books with the publishers. They'll be very happy. There is a question for Manoj from Satyabrat. He wants to know from you, why is it that Rohit has not kind of evolved as a finisher like MS Dhoni? Although it's not fair to compare, but could Rohit have been a better finisher as MSD was?
First of all, thank you for the question, Survata. See, we tend to obviously raise a lot of questions in different ways, but you got to understand and read the game and how the roles are given to each and every individual. Not everyone will fulfill the roles of each others, but Rohit has been given a specific job, which is to open the innings. And when he's set, he plays big innings. And obviously, when he gets set, obviously, there is a phase which comes in his batting innings in one-day cricket when the innings is coming closer to 50 overs. If he's set, obviously he takes more charge in the sense he has to go for the big shots, big runs from 30 over onwards, because he's already set and he's batting on 70 or close to 100. There is a high possibility by playing an aggressive shot in that phase to get the run rate higher up, he will obviously get out a few times. So it's very unfair to compare, first of all. But we have seen what he can do in the World Cup. He has scored 500s, which is unheard of, and it's a record. I don't think it's going to be broken very soon. So he's got a different role altogether. But Dhoni comes at a position where he gets that particular 15 over slot or 20 over slot, where he can obviously build a little bit of his innings and then finish it off in style like he does by hitting big sixes. So every player has a different role altogether in a playing 11, and he has got a different role, and that is to just go and utilize the power play and get a big score like he did in the World Cup.
Abhishek, from the eyes of a coach, do you think we have utilized Rohit the best in whatever position he has been able to bat?
Absolutely. I think in the recent past, since Rohit became an opener, I think you saw an evolution. The question that was asked to Manoj, he actually started off more or less like a finisher because he used to bat lower down in the innings. He finished a lot of innings for India as well. But I think we got the best out of him as an opener, because then you see, like Manoj mentioned, you see Rohit getting big hundreds. You see him making those impacts. And more often than not, when Rohit's got 100, India's winning the game. So, when someone can make that impact on top of the innings, I feel the best ever decision to be made was to make Rohit Sharma open the innings, because I think whoever made that decision was a decision that changed his life as a cricketer and changed people's opinions in terms of what Rohit Sharma is and what Rohit Sharma is capable of doing as an individual.
Yeah. And Manoj, would you have liked Rohit to bowl more? Because he used to bowl off spin, I remember.
Yes, obviously, and he used to bowl really well as well, and he had that control when he used to bowl off spin. I've seen that very closely as well. But obviously, there was one phase, obviously, where he had to concentrate more on batting. But off spin is something, and he's a very good fielding as well, a fielder as well. Beg your pardon. So. Giving so much of time to bowling as well, obviously, it takes a lot of energy out of your body, and the way he's going, I think if he can, obviously, he wants, then obviously he can practice, but the kind of combination which India team plays with now, they play with 5 specialist bowlers, so it's very difficult to see him getting some overs from Virat's hand. But yeah, if he would have continued bowling, then definitely he would have made impact, because he can bowl accurately. And we have seen in IPL as well. He's got a hat-trick as well. Obviously, IPL is a different format, but hat-trick is also not a matter of joke.
And the first of the hat-trick victims was none other than Abhishek. How much do you remember that?
So the backstory to Rohit not bowling is actually an injury. I remember he dislocated his finger.
Right.
And that was when it started, when he stopped bowling a lot. Then he had a labrum tear in his left shoulder, and then he just said that I think he lost his grip after the finger injury, where he couldn't really grip the ball the way he used to. So that's where the downfall of Rohit, the bowler, started.
Abhishek, being part of this Mumbai setup, and there is so much talk of the Khaddus attitude and Mumbai cricket. How do you explain that? No, do we see a decline of the Khaddusness, if I can say so, in Mumbai cricket? The kind of battles that are coming up.
Well, I think there are lots of reasons, but I just feel the attitude of so-called Khaddus, I think that came from how difficult it was to break into the team. If you've seen a change in it now, it's because it's a lot easier to get into the team. Also, I feel at that point, initially, a lot of the other teams, there were very few strong teams in India. So, a Mumbai batsman would not get challenged as much except for a few games. So anyone coming in had to have that attitude to, keep their place intact, or else someone else would take it. In today's cricket, every team is equal. I mean, there's Mumbai, you can't say Mumbai is a stronger team than someone, because any team can beat Mumbai on their day, because IPL has changed the dynamic of Indian cricket altogether. So, but naturally, when opportunity becomes easier for someone to grab and to get, sometimes you don't value it as much. When I wouldn't say when we played, but I think the early days of every cricketer, when they were playing in that era where Mumbai is dominating, getting into the team was difficult. And once you got in, the opportunities were far and few. So if you weren't Khaddus, you couldn't sustain your place. I think now, because teams more often than not start beating Mumbai a lot more, they make a lot more changes. There's less stability in the team. There's less stability in the structure around the team. So But naturally, anyone who comes in knows even if he doesn't do well in 2 games, he can always come back into the team. And we've seen that repeatedly in the past couple of years. So I think that's the change. So the mindset, if it becomes difficult to enter a team, you will, when you get an opportunity, you will be, very tough about it. When you get easy opportunities, sometimes you can take that for granted. So I think that's the change. That's the mindset change. And, there are lots of other reasons as to why, the mindset towards Ranji Trophy, the mindset towards domestic cricket is changing in India. And I think, it's good for Indian cricket. It's good for Indian cricket that there is competition all around. Every team is strong. Every team is challenging Mumbai. But yes, the attitude in the past may not be replicated. You'll see more flair now. You'll see more, someone who wants to achieve greatness. At that point, it was more about survival in the Mumbai team. Now it's about making and staking a claim in the Mumbai team. So yes, the attitude has changed. I don't mind it. I don't expect people to play with the same attitude for 200, 300 years. Cricket has to evolve. Attitude has to evolve. Mindset has to evolve. And, I like the new generation where they come in and they are braver than, what we were. So you don't see the Khadus attitude. You'll see a lot more flair. With us, we were more worried about not getting out. So you found the Khadus attitude. But this cricket now, this generation now, it's all about staking a claim and making sure their name resounds all over domestic cricket. So you find a lot more flair and attitude and a different attitude in younger cricketers now.
Manoj, do you think you have seen changes in Bengal cricket over the years? There have been many talented cricketers coming from Bengal at junior and senior level both. Like Abhishek has talked about, there is a character about Mumbai cricket. How will you describe cricket in Bengal, and especially in Kolkata, where people know Kolkata more for football, but now cricket also has its place?
Bengal cricket is doing really well. If you see last 5 to 6 years, there are a couple of times we have reached semi-finals of Ranji Trophy and quarterfinals once, and last year we reached finals as well. In shorter formats, we have also won, and T20 we have been doing really well. So new crop of players who are coming up are doing really well, and it is helping the team's combination as well. And like Abhishek said, the players also do watch a lot of IPL games, get influenced, get to learn a lot of things, how to go about it, how to approach a particular game, the attitude towards playing Ranji Trophy or playing his innings or bowling spells, it has completely changed over a period of time, and it has come. It's a welcome change as well. You see. It's about time that I've been saying for so many years now. We have so many talented players. We have to work in a particular direction, in a particular way, and we've been doing that, and that's why we are getting the results. It's about time that we'll end up winning the trophy. That's my belief. But we have to be focused, and also the same work ethics and the procedure in which we have reached the finals last year. And the important things boils down to the combination of the team. If your combination of the team is right, and then obviously it becomes easier to win a Ranji game in 4 days, because you have to have bowlers who can pick up 20 wickets in a 4-day period, which is very difficult at times. That's why you see whenever teams play home and away games, they mostly want to utilize the home advantage by making a green top or a ranked turner, which we have seen of late. So, and I've always been vocal about making a Ranji Trophy format for 5 days, because then you can obviously provide a sporting wicket where everyone can come into play, like from the bowlers, the batters, the spinner later on in the fourth and the fifth day, and they will get used to playing. Obviously, if they go higher, then obviously they have to play 5-day test cricket. So I don't know whether it will happen or no, but it will at least give us the sporting wicket, or else what happens, a different condition in different regions of India. Like in East, you see sun sets very quickly. In winter, there is a lot of fog, dew. The pitches are a little wet in the morning session. There is only one phase where you have to, obviously, batters gets a little bit of run, which is lunch to tea, and after that, it's a challenge throughout. And when you win a toss or lose a toss, it becomes a little unfair. But that's one way of looking at it. But from the other side, if you say that it's a challenge which all we have to adapt. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to be fair to everyone. Everyone, when I say if the days is increased to one more day, I think every sporting wicket will be provided. Then every will have a fair chance of succeeding.
Abhishek, you just talked about Mumbai cricket and the youngsters bringing in that flair and the change in attitude. And Prithvi Shaw is definitely a part of this younger generation. And we see Prithvi Shaw in the Test series in Australia. He was out bowled in the first and the second innings of the pink ball Test match. So, what as a coach would you be telling such a youngster? And and I'm sure both of you, Manoj and Abhishek, are looking forward to Rohit Sharma in the Test series at some point.
Yeah, I think you honestly need to first identify what the problem is. I know there is a technical, people are talking about a technical glitch, but you can always use a tactical side to get rid of a technical glitch. So what I would say is, I'm not someone who likes to throw advices, if I'm not talking to the person personally, but I think first it's very important before you work with any cricketer or pass on an advice to understand what advice he actually requires. If you don't understand whether it's a mental or a technical or a tactical or whatever problem that he's facing, it's very easy for me to sit here and judge him and pass a opinion on what I think he should do. But for me, I always like to think about the player first, think about where he's coming from, why it's happening, have a discussion with him. Once I understand what the problem is, then I can chart out a solution. But I'm not someone who will just throw out a solution because I have to. So on this regard, I think we all see a technical glitch in Prithvi's game, but I think there is a tactical nuance to that which he can use to make sure that the technical flaw isn't out there to be taken. So it's just a small change of guard. If he starts to stand on off stump, we saw Matthew Wade do it, and try and make sure that his pad is his first line of defense, if not second, and he rather get LBW than bowled. I think will serve him better from what I understand from here. But I think that's the only thing that he needs to do, because he's got an all-round game. Everyone has one flaw. You don't want to change one thing because 99 things work for you. So I think it's just that one thing, a small change of guard, a small change of where he stands in the crease, maybe can help him, maybe it can't. Maybe he's tried it, maybe he's not comfortable with it. But sitting here, thousands of miles away, I think if I had to say something just for the sake of it, I would say change your guard. Come on off stump and bat on your off stump, not in a middle stump. Your perception of the ball changes completely. You start playing within your body and not away from it. So that's just me throwing one out there, but I'm not a big fan of doing that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And looking forward to
Well, I can obviously give some advice if he's going to listen to this. But see, I when I see Prithvi Shaw is so talented, the kind of innings which he plays when he's in full flow, I think he should be fully focused off the field rather than on field, because off the field you see all the youngsters, which is a very good thing to have so many contracts, so many endorsements. But what happens, because we all have been through that phase as well, Abhishek would know this, that when we are youngster, when we do well and we get opportunity to represent our country and start doing for well against our country, then you get so many contracts and so many things comes, which is very good. They should come. But I think you should be very selective in how many endorsements you want to do. The reason why I say that, because it takes a lot of energy out of your schedule and the time frame in which he has to obviously fulfill his commitments of the field, which I think he can utilize assessing his game. And we don't want to, personally, I don't want to see him just a white ball cricketer. I want to see him a test a cricketer as well, and he has got that ability and class with him, and he can obviously play for India for a number of years in all the formats. I think if he channelize his whole energy into his game, just for a year, just for a year and a half, not for too long. Nobody wants to miss out on the opportunities of the field, especially financially. But because the age which he's in, I think he should completely focused on his game, and the investment he should do is on his game, and how he wants to go about it off the field. And what can be a greater example than Sachin Tendulkar and the way he has conducted himself on the field and off the field as well. So, so whenever I'll see him, obviously, if he will be happy to hear this, but irrespective of that, I will call him and say that. Because I just want to see all these youngsters who are doing so well when they get a opportunity and when he makes a mark, and suddenly his form, obviously he's not fulfilling the expectation of the of so many players who have played so many years. Then obviously you feel bad. You don't want to criticize them, but you feel bad that why this guy is missing out on these things. I think if that is sorted, eventually when your energy is channeled to your cricketing aspect, I think everything will fall in place. It's about sacrifice. So I think if he can sacrifice that part, I think sky is the limit for him.
Gentlemen, we are into the final over, as they say, of the match. One question from Tanmoy to Manoj. That is, what is it that clicks for Rohit as a captain? How is he different from others? And for Abhishek, the question is that, was MS Dhoni the key factor in promoting and pushing Rohit from the middle order to an opener?
Vijay bhai, I think my battery is going down actually, so I'll take this question. If I get cut,
Yes.
then I'll apologize for that to all
Hmm.
our viewers. But I would say, see, obviously, result speaks for itself, and he has shown that in the Indian Premier League as well. He reads the game really well, and he reads what a batter is going to do, because he is such a great cricketer himself. The way he bats, so he understands, and accordingly he conveys his messages to the bowlers which areas to be bowled, and it helps a lot. And with the likes of Sachin Paji and Mahela Jayawardene, and so many good staff are there to help him out. But his instinct, which he does really well, whatever instincts he gets on field, he does that. There are so many times where we have seen uh, players or captains who don't go by their instinct, because they listen so many instructions from outside as well, and eventually he cannot take his own call. But with Rohit, I think he takes his own call on field, and he takes that responsibility. If the game is gone, then gone. He will take that responsibility. And as a captain, you have to be instinctive, and he's a good reader of the game as well. And the result is there to be seen.
Yes, Abhishek.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it is MS Dhoni who gave him that promotion in the batting order, and like I said previously, I think that was the turning point in his career as a cricketer, and it also gave him the opportunity to actually showcase his talent that people keep talking about, and skill to his full potential. So from my point of view, an easy one, yes. If Mahendra Singh Dhoni is the one who's promoted him, which I'm not very sure who did, but if it's MS Dhoni, then 100% all credit to the captain. I feel like Ganguly did for Virender Sehwag, I think Dhoni's done it for Rohit Sharma. So I think it's a similar comparison, and both have achieved a lot. And I think a lot of credit goes to captains in times like that, to get the right player and give the right player the right opportunity at the right time of his career. And I think all credit to MS Dhoni and for Rohit to grab that opportunity and become one of the greats of Indian cricket.
Vijay sir, how much time we have?
Kata,
Just quickly.
Meenakshi has come here to ask us to go away now.
Okay, or else I'll bring the charger
No.
now. It's not
We're
required.
just wrapping up now.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much, Abhishek, Manoj, Vijay, and Jiku, for this entertaining conversation about Rohit Sharma. We loved listening to the making of the Hitman, Rohit's journey from a shy young man to becoming an aggressive and formidable cricketer is surely a gripping and inspiring one. And as Manoj very aptly defined him, as a rare talent and an absolute genius. So please read all about Rohit Sharma in this book, The Hitman, by Vijay Lokapally and G. Krishnan. Before we leave, can we have a look at the book again, please, Vijay and Jiku? Since you have the book with.
And once again, not because Abhishek and Manoj are here, the chapter involving these two is possibly the best, other than what Dinesh Lad talks about Rohit. Thank you, Manoj, and thank you, Abhishek.
Have The Hitman. The book is available for readers in Kolkata at Primarc Story on Elgin Road. Please do go buy this book and find out all these amazing stories about Rohit Sharma and his career.
If I can add, Meenakshi, just, I should thank, I can't thank enough Manoj and Abhishek for agreeing to talk more about Rohit and give a full chapter for this. So,
yes,
thank you very much.
Yeah. Pleasure is all mine and Abhishek's, I believe. It's always nice to talk to you both because you guys talk cricket. And we see hardly these days people talk cricket because everyone is busy on social media. But to all the viewers outside who are watching, especially the Kolkata ones, please go and buy in Primarc Story store. And I've been there as well. And do buy the copy, get clicked and post it and tag the bakers here as well. And we will obviously retweet and reply to you guys. So lots of love. I have to go now. And thank you, Abhishek, Vijay sir, and Krishnan ji, and Meenakshi, and to everyone.
Thank you.
God bless.
Without hesitating to agree.
Primarc Story also for organizing this session today on their platform.
No, without hesitating, I immediately agreed to talk. So that's what I'm very thankful to you, Manoj and Abhishek.
Very nice. Always there, always there.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Take care and we'll stay in touch. Stay safe.
Bye.
Thank you, Meenakshi, and thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.